Now 6:33. Mr. Eugene Olivier is going to lead us in the prayer.
Everyone, please rise. Lord, guide us tonight to do your good work. We ask you to bless all our communities in Iberia Parish. As we focus on the future of our parish, we ask you to open our minds to all the possibilities to make our parish strong. Not to focus just on my needs, but the needs of the whole parish. Thank you for all you have given us in good times and in bad. Give us the growth as our community grows for the future of our children and grandchildren. We ask you to protect those who are facing hurricanes. Protect them and keep them safe. Protect our troops here and abroad, which are serving to protect this great country we live in. We ask you in your name. Amen.
Amen.
Mr. Gonsolin?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Tommy Fowler. Here. Michael Landry. Here. Tommy Landry. Lloyd Brown. Here. Warren Goshasang. Here. Natalie Broussard. Here. Paul Landry.
Here.
Ricky Gonsalas. Here. Joe Dugas. Eugene Olivier.
Here.
Brian Napier. Here. Robert Francis. Marty Traha. Chad Mottwell.
Okay, we have a quorum. I need a motion and a second to go into public comments. I have a motion by Mr. Gonsolin, a second by Mr. Brown. Roll call. Go ahead and push it. Okay, we're now in public comments. Public comments, policy allows 3 minutes per person. Item number 1, comments from the general public on non-agenda items. Item A, Ms. Cammie Matran to address the council to announce her candidacy for state representative of District 96. Ms. Cammie?
Good evening. My name is Cammie Matran. I am a candidate for State Representative District 96. I am born and raised here in Iberia Parish. Many of you here on the council I've known, or my family has known for many years. I took this leap of faith. I jumped into this race because I want to see change, and I want to be able to help you guys bring funding or what is needed for District 96 and here in the parish back to the parish. My main focus is going to be education, because I teach public school to our young children here in Iberia Parish, and I've done that for 13 years, this is my 14th year. And we're failing our kids. We've taken funding away from resources to help them after school. And I want to be able to bring money and funding back into the parish to get some of these programs back. The education system, I'm talking probably to a brick wall to many of you, because this isn't the school board, but our school system is across the state is really failing our children. We as teachers are put on a pedestal. Are put on a pedestal, but yet you're giving us a scripted version of a curriculum of what we need to teach. So my big concern is to change our education system. But I wanted to come and introduce myself to let you guys know that if elected, I want to be here. I want to be a phone call away for you to say, Cammie, we need to sit and talk, see how we can allocate funding, if that's what it's going to need to come into this parish, specifically to District 96, because there are many, many issues here in District 96, and I want to be able to work with you all along with my constituents to get things done. So again, I'm running for state representative. Yes, I have some big shoes to fill in Mr. Landry, but I'm ready for the challenge, and I will be here for each and every one of you. I don't want to come in here and tell you, hey, this is how you do your job. I want to come in here and tell you to open the book and say, this is what we need. Then I can go and bring it to Baton Rouge and say, okay, my constituents need this. My parish council says this is what he thinks or she thinks we need. How can we get it done? So I want to be able to work with you. My mom always told me to be the voice of the voiceless, so I would like to be the voice of District 96. So if you guys have any questions, I have an open door policy. call me anytime, day or night. I haven't slept a whole lot in the last 2 months, but, so just, you can give me a call whenever you need. I'll be more than happy to sit and work with each and every one of you.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you. Y'all have a great
We don't have any
evening.
questions. Thank you.
Any questions before I walk? Okay. Thank you. Y'all have a great evening.
Okay, item number 2, comments from the general public on agenda items. A, persons being considered for appointment to parish boards, commissions to address the council. Is anyone want to address the council? Okay.
Yes, my name is David Tate, and I'm requesting to be reappointed to the Spanish Lake Commission. I've served on the commission for 2 terms, and I'm requesting that you reappoint me to another term. My background is in biology, particularly aquatic biology and fisheries management. I think I'm qualified to continue to serve this parish in that regard as a Spanish Lake Commission. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Tate. Is anyone else in the audience would like to address the council?
My name is Wayne Darwall. I'm a lifelong resident of Iberia Parish, and I've served on the council commission now for 1 term, 2 years. I actually live on the lake. I've been living there for 20 or so years and fairly knowledgeable about the lake itself. Been involved when we had the flood of 16, did a lot of work riding around the lake, stayed in close contact with David and Mr. Richard, giving them reports on where the actual water was coming from. There was rumors saying that the levees breached on the lake, where in turn actually the marshlands were breached the lake that was causing the flooding. It was not involved with the lake, and I have documented that, which I think caused a lot of reassurance to the situation. And I just would like to be considered for another term on the commission. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Next.
Good evening, Larry Henskins. Presently, I'm on the reapplying for the appointment for the Iberia Medical Center Hospital Board. My seat comes up in December. Been on the hospital board for several years. Currently serving as chairman. As you know, we are facing a few challenges at this moment. I think I bring the skill sets necessary to move this organization forward, and as my background in financials, and also I think I have the personality, disposition to do the right thing for the right reasons at the end of the day. So I would like for your consideration to continue that job I'm doing now. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Henskins.
Good afternoon, Council. My name is Kevin Romero. I am trying to get reappointed to the Iberia Parish Airport Authority. Currently serve as treasurer for the Airport Authority, and in our I think I've played a big role in keeping our finances straight with the director situation that you're all very aware of, as well as working with Mike and the rest of the board to get that director position reappointed. We lost that executive secretary for a little while, so I actually kind of handled a lot of the budget, finance, anytime there were need to get budget line items, work closely with Kim to try to get all that stuff straight, to keep everything straight, because we had just Mike for a little while in that office trying to keep everything held down. So I feel like I did a pretty big role in trying to keep all the finances straight, and I would like your approval to be reappointed for another 5-year term. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Frederick Metz Jr., probably better known as Bozo to y'all. I'm here tonight to the council to represent the resolution of another term, and actually the Board of Commissioners, Iberia Medical Center. I have been on the board for 8 years. I would like to continue to serve the board and see the medical center update technology and service to all the needs of the community and the surrounding communities. And I would appreciate your voice in conference, your vote. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Come on up.
Good evening. Thank you, council members, for allowing me here. My name's Thomas Lemaire, and I'm applying for the Iberia Parish Airport Authority Board. I've been a lifelong resident of Iberia Parish, 20 years in Jeanerette and 40 in New Iberia. I currently work for LUS, Lafayette Consolidated Government. I've been working there for 12 years, and I'd like to be appointed to the board. It's special to me. My father was on the board in '73, and it's special to me. I just wanted to apply for it and get an opportunity to put my name in the hat, and I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Is there anyone else in the audience that would like to apply for one of the boards or commissions? Seeing no one else, I'll ask for a motion and a second to go back into regular session. Motion by Mr. Gonsalas, a second by Michael Landry. Roll call. Just push it. Yeah. Okay, now we're back in regular session. Reports, finance, and administrative action. Item number 1, public hearing for the council to act as board of review to obtain public comments and/or objections regarding property evaluations as established by Iberia Parish Tax Assessor for the year 2019. I guess, Mr. Ricky, are you gonna get up and speak on this item?
Well, it's just here for the approval of it. If
Okay.
anybody has any questions, we have 2 appeals. One of them is Aaron Reynolds, which is it's an ongoing statewide appeal. It's in the court system, so we're just waiting for the courts to rule on that, and so the appeal is filed every year. The next one is one that was filing late. It's PI New Iberia Hotel LLC, and the tax commission is going to be coming in to do an appraisal on them. I asked them to go ahead and file the appeal because just to protect their side of it, and like anybody could come right now, I'll always, if they want to appeal and they come meet with me, even though it's past the deadline, we always work with our constituents, or at least I do with my constituents, and you know, so anyway, that's where we're at. There's only the 2 appeals that I know of.
We got a couple questions here.
Sure.
Mr. Gonsalas first.
Ricky, I don't want to get in details, but just whatever happened with the saltwater cabin deal, did they ever
Oh, we
fix it?
settled that.
Yeah, I know, but it's nothing else.
Oh, no,
came up.
we working well.
Okay.
What I do, I'm
I
paying
knew we
for it
settled
out.
it, but I didn't know if you had any other issues.
Yeah, I'm
came
paying
up.
for it out of my budget, but we you know, I have this company that consultants that do an appraisal, and they go out every year and they meet with them, and it's been working out fine. We both agree with the values, so that,
Okay. Good.
you know,
It's good to
I
hear.
don't see it happening, yeah. And that's what you do when you work with companies, and you know, of course, we had to go through the process, but we were agreeing.
Okay. I don't see any other questions, so, Mr. Ricky, thank you for your time.
Thank
and
you.
for being here for us.
All right, you're welcome. Thank you.
Reports, parish or other governmental agencies, we have none. Public Works reports, item number 1, Public Works Department report for closed work orders dated September 2nd to 6th and September 9th to 13th, 2019 was in your packet. Special business is 1, a presentation of consolidated budget statement for the proposed 2020 budgets. Ms. Kimberly?
At everyone's station, I'll put a little packet, with operating budget for fiscal, 2020. We have a number of items in here. First is the president's budget message. I'll allow y'all to read that at my leisure. If you look to the back of the page after, that signature where all the numbers start, that is, the consolidated proposed budget. I'm gonna go ahead and just go through the total, and, you know, just through the course, of the committees, we'll go through every single one, almost every single line item as well. So for fiscal year 20, the consolidated totals for total revenue, 48.8 million. Total expenditures, 67.6 million. We are showing total other financing sources of 2.8 million, and so when you do the math, we end up with a net change in fund balance of a negative or deficit 15.9 million. We will start fiscal 20 with fund balance in the amount of 52.4 million and end fiscal 20 with an estimated amount in fund balance of 46.5. So just to address the net change in fund balance, being deficit 15.9 million. If you look up a couple of lines, that last line item under capital, under total expenditures, it's labeled capital outlay. So typically that's one-time expenditures. We're looking at $19 million in total, in one-time expenditures. So if you take that out, we actually on the close side. And just to kind of, a number of those projects are carryover projects that we've been talking about for years. I don't think that there's a whole lot that's brand new. If anything is very small in dollar amounts. The next page is just the budget calendar, just to show how we'll go through the process to get to final adoption. Next page is the actual committee meetings and how, which ones are going to be addressed at those meetings. And then also the last page being the schedule of debt service. So those are all of our debt service expenditures for fiscal 20. Just a couple of assumptions. We use the property tax revenues that are included in the 2018 roll. So what Mr. Ricky just addressed there, we're actually using last year's roll because those are the numbers that are available to us. And we actually considered a 95% collection rate on sales tax revenues. We did budget based on flat collections for 2019, but because of the fluctuations in the economic development district, I did average that fund. The other funds kind of stay semi-consistent. So all the grant revenues that we have that have actually been awarded have been included here. If we receive anything after, we'll have to come back and add, and then we'll have to, also make corrections after once it's adopted, maybe for some carryovers. Relative to salaries, there have been no increases included. Relative to salary increases, nor for group insurance expenditures. The retirement expenditures that are included are based on the rates that are in effect, based on what we know from the retirement systems. Operating expenditures, all of the departments were given an opportunity to look through their expenditures and adjust accordingly, and just considering where we've been, we're trying to hold down those numbers as much as possible. And then everything that we need for debt service has been budgeted for. So we'll start not upcoming Monday, but the following Monday, and then we'll trend the 4 Mondays in October.
Okay. We have one question. Ms. Gosherson?
Kim, I'm looking at the current capital outlay expenditures for the EDD district. It says $6.8 million for road projects for economic development. Can you break those down for me? Is that what is Lewis Street widening program in that 6.8 million?
Yes.
Okay, and then the rest is for ARA? Okay, okay. All right, just want to make sure. Thank you.
Okay. No other questions?
Yeah, absolutely. There was not a breakdown.
Do I get out, let me get out of this first. Okay, so next we'll go to council member announcements. Do any of the council members have any announcements? Mr. Olivier.
Last night, I had the opportunity to go to the Louisiana Police Bureau Association Region 7 meeting in Cameron Parish. They also had a dedication of the newly renovated courthouse going on yesterday as well, and I got a chance to tour the newly renovated courthouse. This courthouse was the only building left standing after Rita in Cameron Parish, and everything else is pretty much newly constructed around that parish. So I was very impressed with the progress they've made since Hurricane Rita. It was a well-attended meeting last night. A lot of good information was shared to the people that was there, and I was glad to have the opportunity to attend. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Ricky had told us that he had errands and a PI LLC, but we also received one today that he didn't talk about. It's Max Properties LLC, doing business as BTS. So there will be a third one on there that they'll be working with. And the other thing I'd like to, on a personal note, thank Miss Rosemary, who's been telling me she's been watching our council meeting on the TV. I think it's a wise investment. Miss Rose, I'm happy to have you watch us. So, at this time, we'll move on to parish president's announcements.
The abatement program, September the 14th and 21st, we picked up 88 bags of trash, 7 tires, and other assorted things like nightstands and the whole 9 yards. All of that was picked up on Freeman Road and Belmont Road. As you just heard, we're in the budget process right now. We have met with all of the different department heads. I think our finance department is doing a great job. I want to report on the 911 building. That facility is coming out extremely well. I went to the Public Works building yesterday, and it is coming out extremely well. So we look like we're on point with both of those on schedule, and that's a good thing. Over the last 2 weeks, the Public Works Department in District 13, we did some catch basing. District 2, 5, 9, and 13 was cleaning culverts. We did culverts inspections in District 13. We did debris pickup in District 8, field drainage in District 3 and District 4, roadside drainage work in District 2, 9, and 14, grading roads in District 3, 13, and 14. We did a road crossing in District 3, road patching in District 3, 5, 8, 9, 10, 11, 13, and 14, and side boom work in various districts. I'm going to go on and stop right here so we can finish the remainder of this council meeting. But as usual, if you have any questions, let me know. Come visit me.
Okay, we don't have anything up here. We'll
I'll
move
see you
on
after.
to
I'll
consent
see you
agenda items. Minutes for the regular meeting of September 11, 2019. Summary number 150, introduced by the clerk of the council, a resolution changing the meeting date for the joint committee meetings and regular meetings of the council from November 27, 2019 to November 20th, 2019. Summary number 151, introduced by the legal counsel, a resolution authorizing the parish president to execute a cooperative endeavor or other agreement with the Acadiana Planning Commission for the purpose of applying for grant of other funding for or on behalf of Iberia Parish government in association with or in conjunction with the Louisiana Watershed Initiative or Acadiana Regional Watershed Management activities, to provide for the effective date thereof and to otherwise provide with respect thereto. Summary number 152, introduced by the parish president, a resolution authorizing the parish president to execute a cooperative endeavor agreement by and between Iberia Parish Government, Economic Development District Number 1 of Iberia Parish, and Iberia Economic Development Authority to render professional economic development service during the 2019 calendar year and to provide for the effective date thereof and to otherwise provide with respect thereto. Summary number 153, introduced by parish president, a resolution declaring various equipment as surplus property and further authorizing disposal of same in accordance with parish policy and state law as requested by the Public Works Department. Is there any other items that anyone would like to take out of the consent agendas? First item we have is Mr. Gonsalas.
Move.
Moved,
Accept.
okay. Mr. Gashasan?
Yeah, let's remove summary 151.
Okay, we'll move, we'll pull out number 151. Mr. Olivier?
Language to it about having an accountability report.
Okay. Okay, so we are going to pull out item 151 and 152. So we'll be voting on minutes, 150 and 153. So at this time, okay. Mr. Gashasan, you, okay. Okay. Ms. Broussard will be the second. No further discussion, roll call. Mr. Brown? Brian? Okay, those motions passes. Now we'll be going back to item 151. We have a motion by Mr. Gashasan. You want to bring it open? I have a second by Mr. Gonsalas.
I got a question about 151, or Andy, either way. I know there's somewhat $25 million sitting on the table for this watershed program. Have we figured out if we have a match? Because if we do, we've already got money for Park Purdue and all of those that we're still trying to figure out from the state if we're gonna have a match.
Yes, sir. Actually, there's two different programs. The
Right.
$25 million is for the money that the governor did. The watershed program is a $1.2 billion
Correct.
program. So that's two different programs. But the $25 million that you are talking about for the Park Purdue, where Parish government is going to get 5.3, it's in the watershed program for the 1.2 million, where they're going to take care of the match.
So there's no match at all to
won't
me.
have a match on that.
What about,
For the CDBG part of it, no
Okay.
match.
all right, I think promoting
It's two
grants and what y'all doing is a great thing. I just don't want to get caught in a bond chasing money and we don't have enough to
agree with
match
you.
with.
And that was a huge concern, because when the $25 million was there, of course, I'm gonna try to do whatever I can to
Yeah.
get the money for parish government. But you're exactly correct. We can get the money, but if we can't match it, what you got?
Right. Okay, so we feel comfortable that,
I feel pretty comfortable right now that I went to a meeting last week, and they clearly said that money is going to be, the matching money is gonna be funded from the 1.2 CDBG, yeah.
okay, fair enough. That's the only question I had, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, Mr. Gonsalas.
I'll move.
Okay,
And that's a good question.
roll call. Okay, so we have a motion by Warren Gossison, a second by Ricky Gonsalas. Roll call.
It's two different funds, and they're getting confused.
Okay, that motion passes. Now we'll go back to summary number 152.
That's exactly.
I have a motion by Mr. Olivier, a second by Michael Landry. Mr. Olivier?
Motion adding the language, asking for a quality report from the administration on the services provided, added to the language.
Okay. So we have an amendment to add that. Okay. Mr. Brown, you're the second. You go with that? Okay, no further discussion. Roll call. That motion passes. Ordinance introduced for public hearing, we have none. Resolutions introduced for public hearing, summary number 154, introduced by the clerk of the council, a resolution appointing one member to the Iberia Parish Airport Authority for a 5-year term to fill the vacancy created by the expiration of term of Mr. Kevin Romero, whose term expires October 24, 2019. Appointment applications received from A. Thomas P. Lemaire and B. Kevin M. Romero. We'll be voting on your district papers. Yes.
Just a comment. I won't be voting on, I'm going to abstain because Mr. Lemaire is a relative of mine.
Okay.
Okay.
You could just go ahead and fill out your paper, abstain.
Oh, just put abstain?
Yeah. You ready? Okay, District number 1, we have Kevin Romero. District 2, Kevin Romero. District 4, Kevin Romero. District 5, Kevin Romero. District 6, 7, Kevin Romero. District 7, Kevin Romero. District 8, Kevin Romero. District 9, Kevin Romero. District 10, Kevin Romero. District 11 will be abstaining. District 12 is Kevin Romero. And District 14 is Kevin Romero. Yes, while we tally them.
I didn't want to say anything before, and my cousin over there is a little bit too modest. I just wanted y'all to know that the airport in Jeanerette, the Lemaire Airport, is named after his father. So, Tom, I'm glad you put your name up. you know, but, you know, there will be other spots available. I encourage you to, put your name up again. Okay, thank you. All right.
So we had 11 votes from Mr. Romero, we had 1 abstain, and we had 2 absent.
That's coming.
So,
That's coming.
Mr.
Next term.
Kevin, welcome back. Okay, summary number 155, introduced by the clerk of the council, a resolution appointing Mr. David Tate to the Spanish Lake Game and Fishing Reserve Commission representing Iberia Parish for a 4-year term to fill the vacancy created by the expiration of term for Mr. David Tate, whose term expires December 31st, 2019. Did we do it on the paper? Somebody Okay, roll call. Okay, I have a motion by Ms. Broussard, a second by Mr. Gonsalam. Ms. Broussard, roll call. Okay, Mr. David Tate, you appointed back to the Spanish Lake Commission. Summary number 156, introduced by the clerk of the council, a resolution appointing Mr. Andrew Darwell to the Spanish Lake Game and Fishing Preserve Commission, representing Iberia Parish for a 4-year term to fill the vacancy created by the expiration of term of Mr. Andrew Darwell, whose term expires December 31st, 2019. Have a motion by Michael Landry, a second by Ms. Broussard. Michael? No discussion? Roll call. Okay, Mr. Darwell, you back on the Spanish Lake Commission. Congratulations. Summary number 157, introduced by the Regional Planning Commission, a resolution granting preliminary plat approval to the partition of property of Mr. John L. Guidry, lots 1 and 2, located at 7113 Lee Station Road, subject to compliance with staff recommendations 1 through 6 and plat revisions 1 through 8, located in District 13. All is reviewed and recommended by the Iberia Parish Regional Planning Commission. I have a motion by Mr. Napier, a second by Michael Landry. Mr. Napier.
Sarah, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. So, after going through this, I've noticed that the planning commission made some recommendations, depending on a few things. If you could just explain, have they met that or will they meet that? And
Right. So, again, all of these conditions and plat revisions come about during the review of the plat. That is reviewed by Herman, myself, tons of external agencies. So they have not been met. Most of these are plat revisions that have to be done. The only one that will be met at a later point in time, and that's going to be dependent upon a building permit, is the lot grading plan. And so basically the reason why we don't really ask for that at when the final plat is recorded, because it's one thing if you put a mobile home structure there that has one footprint, but if you build a 10,000 square foot house that has a different footprint. So we want that to be true and correct as far as, okay, how are you going to keep your water on your property? And so really kind of based on your footprint, it's going to kind of depend on what you're going to do. And you can do many things. You can put some swale ditches, you can do a yard drain system, but somehow you've got to get your water back to either a public right-of-way, public ditch, public channel, something like that. You cannot adversely affect your neighbors.
so before we you're gonna find that out.
Right, so before they would get a building permit, contingent upon them getting a building permit,
yeah.
they would have to turn this in.
So we
just
don't
did
know
this-
what he's gonna do.
Right, I have no idea. One of those lots already has a house on it. The other one is a 9-acre piece of property. So obviously the one on the house, they're probably gonna be good. It's the 9-acre piece that really has both the large channel in the back and the channel that bisects it up front. So we just want to make sure that they're not, putting water where they're not supposed to
Right.
put their water.
Right.
And so that condition will take care of that. Really, the rest of the stuff is just they missed some drainage easements. LawCo is putting them on notice that
when they are going to develop the 9-acre piece of property, that they will not be able to tie into the existing water meter at the house. They have to they're going to have to put their own water meter in. So LAWCO is putting them on notice of that. There's some certification language that they left off the plat, and then obviously their addresses that they'll have to change. So most of these conditions will get taken care of before the final plat is recorded, because there are a lot of plat corrections. There's things that they left off of the plat
That's what it-
when they originally did it. The only one that'll get taken care of at a later point in time is obviously the lot grading plan, and that'll be contingent upon them getting a
So
building permit.
you have no concerns about moving it
No.
forward here
No.
for preliminary?
None
And
at
the
all.
commission neither, right, Brock? Okay, I'm good. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, next up, Michael Landry.
I think she answered all my questions.
Okay, next up, we have Mr. Goshasan.
Yeah, Sarah, I seen there was a 60-foot access right away to the second portion, was that correct? Is that a standard, or,
So this piece of property, if you pull out your plat, tract 2, I think it's tract 2. Yeah, tract 2, which is the 9-acre piece.
right,
Actually took advantage of the flag lot regulations that we
That's-
just passed. So it's a 30-foot wide pole that leads up to their larger piece of property.
okay, and then the front utility easement is 10 feet, and then, if I read correctly, the 100-feet easement is at the top of the bank from Petitons? Is that 100-feet easement from the top of the bank standard? That's what we've been doing for everybody on Petitons? I mean, it doesn't
Unless
affect
it
him
was-
because he's got a 9-acre tract, but what
I mean,
happens?
unless it was reduced, unless they got a reduction, but at this point in time, at this particular junction where this property is, there's not been a reduction. So it is a 100-foot drainage easement from top bank.
No, I think the thing is, and I think it's been the concern that we talked about here, is at the top of the bank, how much does it move over the years? No, you're right. And it won't affect him as much because he's got a 9-acre tract on that lot too, if I'm right, 9 acres plus? But what about the guy that's got maybe 300 feet property line? I just, 100, yeah, I know, man, Andy, I know you staring at me about that easement reduction. I'm good, Mr. Chairman, I just wanted to clarify to make sure it was uniform.
Let's move on before Andy talks. Mr. Dugan? Okay. Okay, no further questions, roll call. Okay, that motion passes. Summary number 158, introduced by the clerk of the council, a resolution accepting and approving the district's budget for fiscal year beginning October 1st, 2019 through September 30th, 2020. All is recommended by the Iberia Parish Hospital Service District Number 1 Board of Commissions. I have a motion by Mr. Gonsalas, second by Ms. Broussard. Mr. Gonsalas.
Move.
Ms. Broussard.
Wait.
No further? Roll call. And that motion passes. Summary number 159, introduced by the parish president, a resolution ordering and calling a public hearing to be held on December 4th, 2019 for public comments for proposed consolidation budget statement for 2020. I have a motion by Mr. Brown, a second by Mr. Gonsalas. Mr. Brown. Mr. Gonsalas. No further discussion. Roll call. Okay, that motion passes. Summary number 160, introduced by Brian P. Napier, District 11, a resolution amending the 2019 parish-wide drainage fund budget in the amount of $75,000 to provide funding for the Willowwood Drainage Project, and further to authorize the parish president to expedite this project as soon as possible, all to be funded from the fund balance previous year line item. I have a motion by Mr. Napier, a second by Ms. Broussard. Mr. Napier.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. First of all, I want to thank my colleagues last meeting for getting it out of committee. I was out. I wasn't nowhere near. So I appreciate everything that y'all did to move it forward. Let me tell you, this is a real problem in Willowwood. I have been monitoring it since I got in. Since 16, when we took over, they had the flood of 16 that affected so many people. Let me tell you, Willowwood was affected big time, and almost every big rain that comes, they have some problems. And Larry has been out there with me several times. Herman has been out with, I think even Andy came out there once or twice. So, and you get so many different, you know, this is what needs to be done, this is what needs to be done. So we had a little meeting a few weeks ago, some of the council came, and to get to the bottom of it, to find out exactly here today in 2019 what needs to be done. It was said, let's put up some money and let's get get Larry to move forward on getting an engineering analysis and find out what the problem is, and then we'll come back to the council and see if we can find the money to help these people out. They really have a problem on Interlude and Willowwood, and I'd appreciate it if we can move forward. And I'm sure tomorrow Larry's gonna hire a. So thank y'all again for what y'all did 2 weeks ago, and I ask y'all that we keep moving it forward. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Next up, Ms. Broussard.
Wait.
Okay, next up is Mr. Dugas.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I do have a question about the Willowwood, and I may defer to our legal counsel.
Okay.
Willowwood subdivision, if they come up with a new study that says that subdivision was designed for open ditches, does the parish have the right to go in there and dig up all those culverts?
We talked about that over there. We talked about that over there.
And so if we have a right of way, a utility, we have an easement for maintaining drainages on all roads in the parish, we have an obligation to make sure that those ditches flow the way they were designed to flow. Okay, I just want to make sure.
Yes, you have an obligation to try to make sure they flow that way.
Right.
All right, thank you.
Okay, no further discussion. Roll call. A motion passes. We have a motion and a second to adjourn. You want to keep going? Brian. Push it through. Okay, we're here adjourned.